Good afternoon. I'm Yu Heng Weng. Today I'm here to present you the equality and diversity. A Chinese Australian university students' perspective on prejudice and discrimination in social and human services. Australia is like a big colorful puzzle, formed and shaped by pieces from many different backgrounds and story. As Australian Chinese, when I talk about my experience, I'm reminded of the rich Chinese story, languages, and festivals many of us still celebrate here. Historically, Australia has only sometimes been welcoming to other backgrounds. The white Australian policy stand as a testament to this, initially in the early 1900s. It was a set of laws that largely restricted non-European immigration. Chinese Australian, who has been contributing since the gold rush days in the 1850s, felt its heavy impact. They faced significant immigration restriction and prejudice and were often portrayed negatively in our society. But that is more like in the past history. What I want to talk to you about is the current issue that we're facing again in Australia with prejudice and discrimination against Chinese Australians or those international Chinese background is facing again. In 2020, the outbreak of the COVID pandemic creates a wild spread of challenges. The situation was especially difficult for Chinese Australians, given the virus stated by the West propaganda was originated in a city named Wuhan, China. This connection leads to a highlighting emotion, including maybe stress, anxiety, and anger, much of which was misdirected at those of Chinese heritage. I experienced this prejudice firsthand as a specific individuals, stating that they have lost their jobs due to the COVID outbreaks, the bias, and the face degrading comments. But I'm the lucky one because I only faced the verbal abuse. Others through may face worse situation. Some Chinese Australians or even those of Asian heritage were physically assaulted or subject to degrading treatment solely based on their ethnicity. This discrimination added an extra layer as adversary during an already challenging years. But towards my personal opinion, I felt it's that it wasn't just about the virus. The biases that existed were magnified, reveal a deeper cultural understanding. The pandemic unveiled a long-standing social prejudice, and it intensifying existing bias against Chinese Australian. These bias were not new. They have grown from years as microaggressions and the foreigner stereotype. The onset of COVID-19, combined with politic tensions, led to heightened discrimination against the Chinese community in Australia. This wasn't solely about the virus original, but reflects deep-rooted cultural misconception. These biases must be acknowledged and actively challenged for actual social progress to foster a more inclusive future. During the COVID-19 pandemic, it became obvious that not everyone in Australia was treated the same. Many of Chinese and Asian Australians felt singled out and mistreated. According to the Lowy Institute in 2020, there was a clear significant increase in racism against Asian Australians. During this time, this isn't just a simple claim. A detailed study by the Australian National University backs this up, saying more Asian Australians experienced discrimination during the pandemic than before. For example, some were blamed for the virus and avoided in public places because people wrongly thought they might spread the disease. this isn't what Australia stands for. Our country believes in diversity, which means accepting the valuing of all kinds of people. When part of our community are mistreated, it goes against our values of social justice, which is about ensuring everyone is treated equally and has the same chance in life. We must all know about this and work to improve things. The study from Lowy Institute and the Australian National University remind us that we have more work to do to ensure everyone in Australia feels safe, welcome, and they were treated right. As a future social or human services professional, I deeply committed to address the pressing issue of discrimination faced by Chinese Australian and individuals of Asian heritage, contributed by fostering an environment and inclusivity and understanding. Two key concepts that I identify is self-compassion and allyship for social justice, which be intrigued to my approach of self-compassion is crucial for emotional resilience, helping professionals in navigating discrimination challenges more effectively. It helps us have more sympathy and connection by acknowledging and validating the emotional toll discrimination takes on both services provided and those that assist. This sympathy stems from recognizing one's own vulnerability and suffering, making it easier to support those who experience discrimination. Additionally, self-compassion acts as a shield against burnout, promoting self-care, and setting healthy boundaries. It empowers us to accept the limitation without guilt, without prioritizing their well-being. In diverse backgrounds like Australia, self-compassion also helps confront biases and prejudice by encouraging self-reflection, openness to learning, and the courage to challenge assumption, essential for cultural competence. For allyship, I recognize the importance of allyship in addressing discrimination issues faced by the community and individual. My commitment to allyship involves creating spaces where their voice can be heard and where they can speak their own opinion, acknowledge them, and respect them. Continuous self-education will be the cornerstone of my allyship journey, enabling me to understand the historical and contemporary challenges they might encounter. In conclusion, Australia has a rich culture and background. It's a testament to its diversity. However, historical changes such as white Australian policies have left scars on our journeys towards inclusivity. Today, we face new waves of discrimination and prejudice, and exemplified by the discrimination experienced by Chinese Australians during the COVID-19 pandemic. As a future social and human service professional, I'm committed to take on these tackles, and I believe that we can all, and I promise to stand by those facing discrimination, using kindness and understanding, and our goal is to make Australia a place where everyone feels at home and respect no matter their backgrounds. Thank you very much.